When we go through our briefing today, I'm going to open up for questions here at the end, and then we also have a little bit different plan for what we're going to try to do this afternoon with the briefing. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. I want to start off by saying this is an extremely dangerous, very serious situation that we have unfolding across our region. This is truly historic. We have not seen a storm of this intensity affect this portion of our region in the historical record. So we want to frame that in the appropriate context, that this is extremely dangerous. Michael has strengthened overnight and is continuing to strengthen. It is a potentially catastrophic Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 145 miles per hour. Some additional strengthening is possible. We expect that Michael will make landfall as a strong Category 4 hurricane later today, but I don't want to rule out the possibility that we couldn't get closer to Category 5 strength. Just keep that in mind that we're already dealing with an extremely strong Category 4 hurricane at 145 mile an hour winds with much higher gusts. Hurricane warnings remain in effect across much of the entire region, with tropical storm warnings surrounding that area. Tropical storm conditions are already affecting areas along the coast. Hurricane conditions are not far away and will reach the coast by midday today. We expect conditions to rapidly deteriorate across the region throughout the afternoon hours. We'll go through timing for our areas here shortly. And again, this is as significant as it gets on storm surge in the Florida Panhandle and in Appalachia Bay. This is a huge deal, and it's coming. Locally, heavy rainfall will cause flash flooding later today. So the latest information from the National Hurricane Center, winds of 145 miles an hour. Recon planes are out there still flying. We're getting indications the storm is continuing to deepen. We expect catastrophic impacts across a large portion of our region with this hurricane. Looking at our wind speed probabilities, it's a near certainty that pretty much the entire area is going to see sustained tropical storm force winds, except maybe in the far eastern portions of Dixie County, but there's still an 8 in 10 chance. It's a very high likelihood of seeing sustained tropical storm force winds across the far eastern portions of our area. As far as hurricane wind probabilities, it's almost a near certainty that areas points from Panama City over to Apalachicola, you're going to see sustained hurricane force winds with this storm. There's about a 3 in 4 chance, very similar to what we saw yesterday, of seeing sustained hurricane force winds across interior portions of the Florida Panhandle from Washington County eastward into Gadsden County, Florida. There's about a 40% chance, a 4 in 10 chance, of seeing tropical storm conditions in the Tallahassee area. There's about a 1 in 3 chance of seeing sustained hurricane conditions as far inland as Albany, Georgia. Now, the most likely arrival time of tropical storm force winds, we're already seeing tropical storm conditions at the coast in the Florida Panhandle and in portions of the Florida Big Bend. Sustained tropical storm force winds were at Apalachicola last hour. So we expect to see sustained tropical storm force winds move into southwestern Georgia and southeastern Alabama around midday today, and then getting up toward the Albany area after about 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon, as you see the timing on the screen there. Now, when are sustained tropical storm force winds going to exit the area? So we've updated this a little bit from yesterday. We expect the tropical storm force winds to end around 11 p.m. Eastern time tonight in the areas shaded in blue, and then between 2 and 5 a.m. in the areas shaded in green, and then between 5 and 8 a.m. in the area shaded in yellow, and then after 8 a.m. in the area that you see shaded in orange. Now, our peak wind gusts, we have updated these considerably from what we had yesterday, in part because we're dealing with a much stronger hurricane, also because we have higher confidence with the storm much closer to landfall. These are some very significant numbers, and they represent peak gusts that we could see. Not all areas are going to experience these peak values, but certainly the potential is there for these values. So we could see some gusts in excess of 156 miles per hour along the immediate coast in Bay, Gulf, and far western portions of Franklin County. This is extremely devastating, what we're talking about here. We have Category 4 force gusts here in the darker purple, Category 3 force gusts in the lighter pink purple shading here. I do want to take this time to remind folks that we have one additional product that we issue when we get close to landfall. It is called an extreme wind warning. We issue it for areas that we expect to receive winds of 111 miles an hour or greater. Those warnings will come out total alert just like any other warning that we issue. We will be coordinating that in NWS chat, so if you're in our chat room, you will see when we're preparing to issue that warning. That warning will most likely be for areas that are kind of shaded here in this pink color, where we expect to see those Category 3 force gusts or sustained winds. Then moving inland, Category 2 force gusts in the red area that you see shaded here. Strong Category 1 force gusts, 85 to 95 miles per hour in this area here. We do anticipate that a large portion of this orange area will also see sustained hurricane force winds around 75 miles an hour, perhaps a little bit stronger. Then gusts to hurricane force 74 to 85 in the yellow area, and then strong tropical storm force gusts on the edges here in green. Again, these are potential peak wind gusts that we expect to see with this hurricane. Now, as far as our wind threat and impacts, obviously this is incredible in what we're looking at for wind damage here, particularly in the purple area where we could see gusts in excess of Category 3 intensity. There's going to be significant devastation in these areas. It's going to be extreme. Within the red area, we're going to see hurricane force gusts. That's going to cause extensive and substantial power outages. Not only that, we're going to see widespread trees coming down in this event. Areas in orange, we're looking at strong, sustained tropical storm force winds with gusts nearing hurricane force. Warnings that we have in effect. Hurricane warnings now extend all the way up north of Albany, include our southwest Georgia counties here, Quitman, all the way over to Turner, Tift, Colquitt, Brooks, and then on down in to the Florida Big Bend and Panhandle. Tropical storm warnings are up for Dale County on the west, and then down this row of counties here in south central Georgia and into the Florida Big Bend. Now, our storm surge has changed just a little bit from what we were briefing yesterday. These numbers have come up because we're dealing with a very intense hurricane. We're looking from Wakulla County all the way over to the Acela River, so up there in the head of the bay, could be 10 to 14 feet above ground. From Kendall Air Force Base in Bay County eastward through Franklin County, 9 to 11 feet above ground is possible. Then on the edges, Taylor County, all the way down to Dixie, we've made a slight modification there on the Taylor County coast, but still significant surge at 6 to 9 feet above ground. And then again, on the western side, this is going to be very track dependent. If we see a track that's more off to the east of Panama City, obviously the surge values here in Walton and Western Bay will be less, but at this point we still want folks to prepare there for that 6 to 8 feet above ground. And as you would imagine, we still have the storm surge warning in effect. Not only are we going to see significant destruction at the coast, we're going to see storm surge spread many, many miles inland, particularly in Gulf, Franklin, Wakulla, and Jefferson counties, also in the portions of Taylor County. So areas you see here highlighted in the pink color, those are the areas that have a danger of life-threatening inundation from the storm surge. Again, very life-threatening situation here that we hope everybody takes extremely seriously. Rainfall graphic has not changed very much from what we were looking at yesterday. We're seeing widespread 7 to 10 inch amounts, generally from Panama City to just west of Tallahassee. Elsewhere, a pretty broad swath of 5 to 7 inches of rain, and then decreasing as you go out from the core of the track. This is going to cause flash flooding. We're also going to see rises on our rivers. That will be addressed in the next 2 to 4 days, where we're expecting at least moderate flooding within the Chipola River Basin. We're also going to see some of our other main stem rivers come up at least into the minor flood category. But we'll be evaluating where the heavy rainfall occurs today and be giving more precise river forecasts as we go into the day tomorrow. So again, prepare for at least minor river flooding, but particularly in the the Chipola Basin, moderate flooding at Alta and on down. As far as the tornado threat, again, we're looking along and right of the track. We're already seeing signs of the storms nearing the coast, strongly rotating. So the tornado threat will continue to increase throughout the day today, into the day on Thursday, covering the area you see here in yellow on the screen. So to sum up everything, again, this is about as serious as it gets in our area. It's extremely serious and a dangerous situation. Michael has strengthened very quickly to a potentially catastrophic Category 4 hurricane, winds of 145 miles per hour. Additional strengthening is possible. Michael will make landfall as a strong Category 4 later today. Might get up pretty close to the Cat 5 level. We'll have to watch that as well. Hurricane warnings remain in effect for much of the region. Tropical storm warnings surround the hurricane warning area. We're already seeing tropical storm conditions at the coast. And that will continue to move inland throughout the rest of the day. Hurricane conditions should reach the coast by midday today. We are going to be seeing a significant and life-threatening storm surge with this hurricane. It's going to be coming in at high tide. That's going to exacerbate the surge and make things worse. And then we do expect flash flooding later today as the heavier rain gets into the region. Do want to mention that I haven't emailed out the graphics yet, so we can get started quickly. I'm going to email out the slides as soon as I'm done with the call. Also, we normally suspend webinars once we get into our active weather, but with this event, we're going to continue to do briefings. They're not going to be formal with slides, but we're going to update you every 2 hours starting at noon today, Eastern Time. So this afternoon at 12 p.m., we're going to have our next briefing using the Join.me stuff, and I'll get the invitations out to you. We'll have some graphics and a couple of slides that we'll share with you. So at this point, and unmute the lines, open them up for questions from any of the folks that we have on the call. The line should be unmuted, so go ahead with the question. Go ahead, Rodney. And remember, folks, if you're not asking a question, please keep your phones on mute. Go ahead, Rodney. Rodney, excuse me, I can't hear you. Please, folks, keep your phones on mute or take the conversations offline. Go ahead, Rodney.
Or would you prefer 30 days? Just kind of a note of what time frame do you see this thing moving into Georgia? I don't wish any ill on our Georgia partners, but I'm just kind of concerned what kind of time frame we're looking at as it moves into Georgia.
The sheriff did.
Okay.
But I'll see if I can get on here.
All right, Rodney, just a second. I'm just going to mute real quick so I can.
Thank you.
All right. So for the storm getting into southwestern Georgia, we're going to be seeing the center. Okay, folks, I'm serious. You're lying. If you are having a conversation and we can hear you, mute your line. Rodney, so the storm is going to be coming up across Jackson County later this afternoon, getting into southwestern Georgia, the center into southwestern Georgia this evening around 7 o'clock. So as far as our timing, we're going to be seeing the tropical storm force wind get into southwestern Georgia around early this afternoon around 2 o'clock. We should see those conditions begin to subside up in the southwestern Georgia after midnight in that 2 to 5 a.m. time frame. All right, thank you. All right, please, whoever is talking right now, leave your line. We don't need to hear your conversation.
I will see if I can find that ordinance that if there I should be.
All right, folks, any other questions on the call?
All right. Okay.
Kelly, if you'll just check here, I'll send you a question on NWS chat to your private chat, since whoever's talking about our ordinances can't seem to figure out how to get on these.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, actually. We'll take care of it offline. Any other questions on the call?
Are there any questions for Houston County?
All right, as a reminder, we will be doing our next briefing on this storm Wednesday at noon today. We'll get an invitation out on that, and I'll get the slides to you here in just a few moments. If you do have any questions, since we weren't able to really kind of discuss things, please give us a call here at the office, and we'll talk with you offline. All right, everybody, we'll get through this, and we'll talk to you later today at noon. Thank you.